Testing, testing. Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Lots to go over in the headlines. Of course, big story last evening. Barack Obama's personal chef found drowned in Martha's Vineyard. And this is going to tie right in with what we talked about when Ryan Mallett, former NFL player, drowned last month. It's the exact same pattern, one we've seen many a times. One that's actually written about in my book, Number Games, my last book, when we talked about the actress who was found drowned from High School Musical. The Carlee Russell story has been an admitted hoax, and as we talked about last week on TFR, we already knew it was a hoax because we know the way the media is contrived by the code. We'll go back over that. Jason Aldean, headlines just won't stop. Again, we're going to talk about what we've talked about many a times before, what we've been talking about since 2017, how Jason Aldean is an Illuminati puppet. That's why he has this tattoo on his arm, straight from the Las Vegas card in the Illuminati card game. Of course, he was the singer on stage who really made a name with a lot of people because, again, when the Las Vegas shooting happened, he was the guy performing. We'll come back to how all of this connects. Also, shout out to Amy at Crack Their Code. She noticed a headline that I overlooked, and this is a huge addition. Again, FedNow, all about digital currency, the surveillance system, went live on July 20th, the 201st day of the year, and that supposedly private company that we know is the federal government, Amazon, which owns Whole Foods and a whole bunch of other things, including papers throughout the nation. Or I guess it's Jeff Bezos, but whatever. Anyway, Amazon, their palm reading payment system also went live on July 20th. And again, Amazon's been experimenting with the different payment methods in their store without having to pull out your wallet, just all based on surveillance and scanning. That's been going on at their flagship store in Seattle for quite some time. But on the exact same day, and we know Amazon's really the federal government, otherwise the federal government wouldn't have added Sunday delivery service just for Amazon and wouldn't bend over at the post office just for Amazon. And notice what they've done in the time they've been over for Amazon. They've raised prices drastically for all other people who use the post office to essentially subsidize what they're doing for Amazon. Their drivers hate it. But yes, on the exact same day, the 201st day of the year, which we'll come back to, breaking news within the hour, Bronny James, the son of LeBron, supposedly suffered a cardiac arrest yesterday at a USC basketball practice. Again, we'll get back to what a distraction this is by the numbers. I highly doubt that happened. It's just to keep LeBron James right in your mind's eye, as well as his son, who's a new star on the basketball college scene. Yesterday, Monday, the 24th, Twitter officially rebranded as X, and X is the 24th letter. We'll talk more about that. Also, shout out to Amy. She put out a really good video, and I picked up another 201 from her. Unless I've covered this in the past and forgot it, I haven't been able to keep all the 201 straight, but it's a great reminder. And again, if you guys aren't on Amy's channel, make sure you sub her channel, Crack Their Code, all is one word, there, the THEIR method. Crack Their Code. She also has the website cracktheircode.org. And if you're not subscribed to Evan at Not a Sports Journalist, I'd love to see his subs fly up as well. He got out and pounded pavement at the Texas Rangers ballpark this past Sunday, and he did a good job. Lots of room for improvement. Evan, have a note card with more gematria riddles. It was like he forgot almost everything. And again, but getting out there and doing it, it's what makes you better. And the fact that he got out there and did it's what's awesome. And we need more people doing this. We need everyone doing this at every ballpark, pretty much every day. Got to release all the Jesus fanatics that have nothing interesting to say and are just talking a whole bunch of bullshit right out of their Jesuit mind control that they're all under. Instead of all these Jesus freaks at the ball game annoying everybody, let's get actual people with real knowledge out to the ballpark, giving real knowledge, dropping real facts, and waking people up to what's really going on in this world. Not waiting for mythical men in the clouds. So shout out to Evan for getting out there. Shout out to Amy for the really good video she did. Out of all the videos I've ever seen Amy do, this was easily her best video. And just to give some positive and constructive criticism, Amy, love the work you're doing. In a lot of your videos, you just sound so bored, like you don't even want to do the video. But in this video, your tone of voice was right, the delivery was right, and that's the way it should always be. So, anyhow, right here, let's start with the Obama family's personal chef found dead in the water. And this comes right before Barack's birthday. We're going to talk about how this is perfectly synced with his upcoming birthday and also how it's synced with Michelle's birthday. And again, gematria, very simple practice of putting numbers into words. The chef's name is Tafari Campbell. His first and last name are interesting. His whole name's interesting, and let's go through it piece by piece. The full name, Tafari Campbell, 56. When Obama became the first black president, he won the 56th presidential election. Black Lives Matter, 56. We know about all the rituals with Black Lives Matter in 56. We've been documenting them nonstop for almost a decade now. Next year, 2024, is going to mark a decade of Black Lives Matter. Society of Jesus, that's the Jesuits who created the Black Panther Party and run the Black Lives Matter movement and keep black people, who are in poverty with that fake Jesus belief all over the nation. Again, there's a direct correlation between black communities being the most suffering and also the most invested in the mythical man in the clouds who's not coming to save anybody. And I don't care if that offends you, that's a fact. And shout out to Dana who sent me this t-shirt for my birthday. Really appreciate it, Dana. Facts over feelings. So I don't got time for Jesus people's feelings anymore. Your religion's bullshit. It's the biggest problem on earth. All religion is, but yours is the biggest problem. And remember, the people who gave us the fake Jesus character, they're also the ones who run this world, who gave us the calendar, the English language, and who do this shit every day and keep people invested in the realm of belief and nonsense instead of facts. People are more invested in fiction than facts. And that's a major problem. And of course, the Jesuits have been in D.C. for longer than the feds in Washington, D.C.'s 56. Doesn't it make so much sense? But this man was found dead in the water 11 days before Obama's birthday, and black is 11. Just like Jesus, just like how the only physical description of Jesus in the Bible is that of a black man. So if I'm wrong about what I'm saying and there ever was a Jesus, he must have been black based on what's in the Bible. And we all know about Tupac and dying on Caesar Borgia's birthday, where white Jesus comes from, and then his album with him on the cross like Jesus and the Hail Mary song. Anyway, Tafari Campbell. You take Campbell and Tafari. You run again, if you're new here, somebody who does math will be like, this doesn't make sense. Here, Tafari Campbell, the 4 base ciphers, alphabetic order with numerology, reverse alphabetic order with numerology. Tafari Campbell's 56 and 259 like Black Lives Matter, okay? And that same cipher, again, Society of Jesus, 56. Washington, D.C., 56. And the list goes on and on and on. But if you just do it name by name, Tafari in reverse is 44. Campbell in reverse is 44. Obama, number 44, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act, who ran on hope. Notice how hope is 44 and 64. 44 years after the Civil Rights Act to 64, Barack Hussein Obama's elected. Barack Hussein Obama, 64. And coming back to Campbell, Campbell's also 64. And remember, we recently had a Campbell killed on July 14th, which was the kill date that had 64, 28, and 44 numerology. And Campbell is also 152, like Joe Biden, who's Obama's old vice president, so that probably also factors in here. But, again, Tafari Campbell, clearly killed for number 44 in the latest ritual sacrifice. Now, remember when Ryan Mallett drowned, he was the 74th pick of the draft, and we talked about how that fit in with drowning, right? Drown equals 74. In this case, the drowning is confirmed on July 24th, 2023. 7 plus 24 plus 20 plus 23 is 74. Same pattern, we've seen it a million times before. Again, it's a killing number, 74. If you don't know the song Gematria, the practice calling numbers words, Gematria, the killing name, look up that song. It's about how America is a killing name. Okay. They said he disappeared on July 23rd. So 2/3/7. The prime factors of 42. 42, the number stamped all over Black history. The prime factors of 42 are 2, 3, and 7. So what a day for a black man to disappear. And then they say he drowned, which is a black stereotype that black people can't swim. Remember, you had the drowning of the Arizona swimmer some months back. And that was also a 42 drowning ritual. University of Arizona swimmer, if you forgot the story, you can go back and look it up. The headlines will pop up if you search that. But coming back to the Society of Jesus in Washington, D.C. Society of Jesus, 56 and 187. Washington, D.C., 56 and 187. This man disappeared Sunday, 187 days after Michelle's birthday. Same patterns over and over. And again, it makes us wonder, will Michelle end up running as the Democratic presidential candidate? Something could happen to Joe Biden. He could kick the bucket in the Gerald Ford prophecy. If you don't know about the Gerald Ford prophecy, go back and look. He was in the Herbert Hoover Library. He said the first female president will come when the old male president dies in office. He said that the woman will not be voted in. That's the way we'll get the first female president. And again, he said it in the Herbert Hoover Library. And lo and behold, Kamala Harris was born on the exact same day that Herbert Hoover died. I've speculated that Joe Biden won't make it past 81 and won't finish his term, dying somewhere around June 1st, 2024. President Biden, 81. Just like President Trump, who he supposedly beat. Just like how he got 81 million votes. Just like how Scranton, Pennsylvania, where he's from, home of The Office. Scranton's on Interstate 81. But yeah, does he exit and does Michelle become the person at age 60 for the 60th U.S. presidential election, going up against Donald Trump, who sacrificed his wife on the 60th week of the Jesuit Ignatian year? It's all in the numbers, so it's definitely possible. And in light of this being confirmed on the 24th of the month, again, we're talking about the 2024 election upcoming. And don't forget, they also lost the woman that they danced with by the numbers, which was synced with the election. And Michelle also put out her most recent book, perfectly synced with the election. And again, the book and the woman's death both had everything to do with 103. And Obama's got that 103 gematria as well. So, R.I.P. to Tafari Campbell. And yeah, it's just, I'm just so annoyed that we've had this on lockdown for a decade, and YouTube has figured out how to destroy the spread of this knowledge. Big tech has in general, and nobody out there who supposedly is into the truth, who has a platform, has helped get out the word, which should tell you all you need to know about all these other big truth channels. They're not truth channels. They're keeping you in the box, stuck on the same old shit channels is what they are. And that's what most people are. They just want to stay in the box. What do you mean you don't like Jesus? If I don't believe in Jesus, I won't go to the eternal afterlife. Little thought they've had in their little brains since they were little children. And just think about how dumb it is when it comes out of their mouth. So it's like, oh, so your whole reason to believe in that bullshit-ass story, which makes no fucking sense at all, is so you can have the eternal afterlife. So it's really all about you. Can you imagine the eternal afterlife with all these Jesus freaks? Shoot me now, and don't send me there. Anyway, Carlee Russell. Let's just take a look at her and the family. Carlee Russell. Carlos Russell, the father, and Talitha Russell, the mother. Now it comes out it's a hoax. Well, we saw it was a hoax from a mile away because look at the numbers. Again, who runs the hoaxes that is the mainstream media, the mainstream distraction every day? The Jesuit order. You haven't found one person that can debunk what I'm saying. You'll see all sorts of, dumbasses try to come with some sideways argument which makes no sense. But every day we're proving our point. I can't finish my book on 201 because I can't keep it short enough because there's 201 new examples every month. But the Jesuit order, and just since we started with Michelle and Barack, let's not forget when we had the latest Beirut bombing. The last one was the barracks bombing, but the latest Beirut bombing, which they blamed on fireworks, and Jesuits love fireworks because they tried to blow up British Parliament with fireworks. That's why we shoot off fireworks on the 4th of July in this Jesuit-controlled nation. But don't forget that when Beirut blew up, again, barracks, Barack, it was on Barack's birthday, 8/4, and it was 201 days after Michelle's birthday in 2020 because it was a leap year. It falls that way in a leap year. But the Jesuit order, 201. Talitha Russell, the mother here, 201. And the woman, Carlee Russell, 201. But again, if you run it forwards, Talitha Russell and Carlos Russell are both 177, like the Jesuit order, reminding us how Klaus Schwab's 177, and he put on the event 201 simulation, and so on and so forth. So, are you surprised it's a hoax, guys? There was no kidnapping. Admitting a hoax. Well, we know that Carlee Russell's not responsible for this. My guess is her parents are caught up in some secret society that's a Jesuit offshoot. There's a lot of them. And they were put up to this. And that's probably exactly what it is. So the real people that should be apologizing are the Jesuits for lying to us every day, keeping our heads full of bullshit from Jesus to everything else. And, it'd be nice if they just came out and admitted Jesus was a hoax, and so was pretty much everything else they gave us. The history, all the other bullshit, 9/11, the pandemic, all of it. What do you mean it was a hoax? My fat father went to the hospital and died there on the breathing machine with a 201 on it. That's exactly what I mean, moron. By the way, look into the history of hospitals and how Catholic, Jesuit, everything going on in them is, including how they treat cancer by radiating you to death. Okay, so again, Jason Aldean. Who gives a shit about Jason Aldean and his shitty music? Jason Aldean. Let's go over it one more time. Jason Aldean, 201. Remember where he got famous? On the Las Vegas Strip, because he was there. Oh, yeah, I throw a the in front of it. Sometimes you got to put the Las Vegas Strip, 201. Again, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting on the day, leaving 91 days left in the year. Synced up with the Yom Kippur, which is really all about Saturn worship, which is, there's so many 201s in Saturn, it's ridiculous. But anyway, Jason Aldean, this guy, like we talked about when it happened, his tattoo right beneath the black sun. That Las Vegas shooting happened right after the Great American Solar Eclipse when the sun's blacked out. But his tattoo, the same tattoo that's on the Las Vegas card in the Illuminati card game. And where his name, again, is 201, Order of Illuminati is 201, right? And we just passed the 201st day of the year, July 20th, the anniversary of the moon landing, which is illuminated by the sun. And Neil Alden Armstrong was the big man and the big name in that ritual, which is another 201. But anyway, this little Illuminati puppet, they just can't get enough of dividing America with their chosen puppets. They do it with politics. They do it with sports. They do it with entertainment. They do it with contrived controversies like Caitlyn Jenner. And you see the 150 in her name? That was also on the Carlee thing a second ago, and I should have made that point because Illuminati's 150. And again, the sun is 93 million miles away, but 150 million kilometers away. Again, the thing that illuminates the earth. And notice how Order of Illuminati's also got the 93. So they got all their bases covered. Again, it's why it's all synced up. Jesuits in the 16th century. English is a 26-letter alphabet in the 16th century. The calendar in the 16th century, which is a solar-based calendar. And again, heliocentrism in the 16th century, which is also 150 and 201. And notice the 69 as well, because let me type in Illuminati one more time, which is also 69, like the Catholic Church. A lone Catholic Church is 69. The Jesuit Order is 69. So, yeah, it's, It's just annoying because, you go on social media right now and this is all everyone's talking about. It's just so annoying, this society of just fucking morons who just believe what they see on TV every day and allow it to become their life and their emotional investment and just their world. And I mean, I'm ranting about the same shit all the time because I've known this since I was 18 years old, but essentially people's brains are just the TV. Like everybody's brain becomes the TV screen. They watch the screen and their brain becomes the screen. That's all they're thinking about. That's all they're talking about. That's all they're believing. They're going with the exact narrative the way it's presented to them. In almost every household in America, probably the world as well, the most important voice in the house is the voice coming from the TV screen. It's like my sister, we're a decade into this. I can't get my sister to admit that she's wrong. And I know she knows she's wrong now because now she doesn't talk as much shit. She just doesn't want to talk about it at all. Before she used to talk shit. But she just can't admit it. But she's still so into the screen. Whatever's on the screen, especially if it's Oprah or Martha Stewart or George Stephanopoulos, who sacrificed his producer during Christmas, if you remember, in a nice 201 ritual. Those are the voices that matter the most to her. If George says it, if Oprah says it, Martha... that's what she's into. Her own family, her mom, me. Oh, she doesn't care about us. We're not voices of authority. And it's my mom. My mom always bitches about it now, but it's my mom's fault. My mom was the most annoying mother there ever was, just closed-minded, thought everything she knew was right. The Democrats were the truth. Christianity was the truth. All that matters is Democrats and Christians. Which might sound funny to people because most of America's Republicans and Christians. But that's how she raised my sister, and now that's exactly how my sister is. Just Democratic Party and going to church on Easter and Christmas. And Martha and Oprah and George. Okay. Again, like we've always explained, all this stuff is biblical. And again, Revelation 13 about the beast and how you must accept the beast if you want to buy or sell, and everything they did with COVID and the pandemic being declared 666 days after the first COVID simulation, and that simulation being Cladex, the sister simulation of Event 201, which was on 10/18, like how in Luke 10/18, Satan comes to earth. So Amazon, we've been documenting all the Amazon 201 shit, the Jeff Bezos 201 shit. I know now they have a new CEO, but it's still Jeff Bezos, right? So what are the odds, in light of everything I've been saying about how Amazon's really the federal government, that they debut their Palm payment system? Again, in Revelation 13, you either get the mark read on your forehead or on your hand, but this system goes live the same day as FedNow, the 201st day of the year. And again, the Holy Bible is 201. The Jesuit order is 201. That old serpent, which is phrasing for Satan in the Bible, is 201. That video game that's huge right now that everyone's playing, Diablo 4, came out 201 days after the Superior General's birthday. It releases, or the first season releases on the 201st day of the year. I documented how when COVID was going on back in 2020, they announced the remake of Diablo 2 on June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Again, it's about the devil. The devil's biblical. Nickname for the devil, that old serpent. How all this shit comes together. The Christian person going, "You're swearing like the devil." This whole language is a curse. Curse words. Expand the definition to English. That's why this language is so twisted. Believe, spelled in a funky way with lie right in the middle. All these believers. But yeah, on the 201st day of the year, you don't think all this is biblical, all this is connected? You don't think Amazon's the federal government like I've been saying for a decade? It's so obvious it is. And what's the federal government? Don't forget, you guys, Bezos going in his dick rocket, synced up with Mike Myers, who rode in the dick rocket in Austin Powers. If you think I'm joking, go back and look at everything we documented. It's how big of a joke it is. And remember who the last guest was in his second trip in his dick rocket? They literally told you on the news that the last person invited was named Dick. Jeff Bezos invited Dick to fly in the dick rocket. Oh my God. But yeah, just all this 201 shit over and over. And don't forget the whole FedNow thing going live, like we talked about last week. Again, they announced on the Ides of March that they were going to begin certifying FedNow in the beginning of April, so it could go live in July, and then it went live on the 21st day of the year. But in the first week of April, Bob Lee, who pretty much invented this whole digital cash system through Square and CashApp, Square, four-sided, was killed on 4/4, like how Caesar was killed in 44 BC, and the announcement for the first week of April was on the Ides of March. Remember the killing of Caesar in 44 BC? But then they had to put out in the media that the killer of Bob Lee lived in apartment 201. And then they had a picture of Marilyn Monroe next to it, which is weird. All I can think, there's got to be more to it. I know I'm missing the bigger connection, but M is the 13th letter. The numerology of 13 is 4. So becomes 4/4 in numerology. But yeah, and don't forget Amazon got into the whole jab thing after COVID and Event 201, where pretty much, again, Seattle was the first city in the world with a case of COVID outside of China, where all these companies were that led the way. Costco's out of Seattle. Bill Gates is out of Seattle, who was the main co-host of Event 201. His full name, William Henry Gates 201. Bezos, just all this so many of the big tech companies are up in Seattle. Big tech takeover. And, yeah, it's just like, where does somebody realize that this is not all a coincidence? That's the spell everyone's under. You know, when Evan was out at the Ranger Stadium, he had some guys come up and talk to him, and they're like, don't you just think everything you're saying is a coincidence? What they had just heard Evan say is, Chadwick Boseman died on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day and the birthday of Jack Kirby, which they moved it to. And, of course, he was Black Panther, and he was Jackie, number 42. He initially died at age 42, and they changed his age of death to 43. And then when the Dodgers ended up winning the World Series, they won it 4-2 later that year on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's funeral. And these guys come up to him, and they're like, don't you just think that's all a coincidence? It's like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? Why does everyone do that? I mean, you got to be a fucking moron to think everything's a coincidence. It's so fucking annoying. I've been dealing with the same shit since 9/11. Back when I figured out everything happened in 1968, they were like, don't you think that's a coincidence? Why the fuck would I think that's a coincidence? God, you gotta be a fucking moron. I mean, there is such a thing as a coincidence, but God, the word needs to be eliminated from vocabulary. I mean, it should be there for like just the times that things are a coincidence. You know? But God, it's just so annoying, man. This shit's not a fucking coincidence. This is a fucking agenda. A biblical agenda. Then every fucking moron, oh, I don't believe in all that. It doesn't matter if you believe in it, you fucking moron. We're not talking about what you believe in. We're talking about the people that rule over us, what they're about. What they're doing. God, people are so fucking dumb. I don't know if you guys were watching when I was in Seattle, but we didn't have people on camera, but this woman, she was like pale and anorexic and looked totally Seattle, and she had her fucking slave muzzle on, and she was standing out there with the other group of women who looked healthier and weren't wearing their slave muzzles. They looked less Seattle. Again, if you've never been to Seattle, people look very sickly. They don't see the sun. Look like they're missing all kinds of vitamins and minerals. They look like they hate life. But anyway, the one that had her slave muzzle on, I said to him, I like what you guys are out here standing for, but I said, what are you wearing your slave muzzle for in July, 3 years after the fact? I said, the same people you're protesting against are the same people who gave you that agenda. And she's like, how's that? So I started to explain it to her, and then she just got to, I don't believe in the Bible. The Bible's all mistranslated anyway. I was like, it doesn't matter if you believe in the Bible. I don't really believe in it either. And it doesn't matter if it's mistranslated either, which is also true. The point is, they put because I was explaining to her how from the Cladex simulation and Event 201 to the pandemic being declared was 666 days, the number from Revelation 13, where you must have the mark if you want to buy or sell. And instead, in our reality, we had to have the mask if we wanted to buy or sell, and mask is one letter off. But she just kept going through all this bullshit about how, well, I don't believe in that. And it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you, moron? It doesn't matter what you believe in. Where's your fucking critical thinking skills? Oh, never mind, you don't have any. That's why you're wearing a fucking slave muzzle in July on a 90 fucking degree day. God, these people are fucking dumb. Anyway, sorry with all the rants, but that's just the way I woke up today. Bronny James Bronny James. Hey, R.I.P. Lorenzen Wright, dead 201 days after LeBron's birthday. I always like to bring that up. But Bronny James, and there's been a lot of dead bodies connected to LeBron, but Bronny James, his son, who went to USC by the numbers, didn't he do it on the same day that LeBron set the point record, scoring 38 on the 38th day of the year? USC 38. Pretty sure that's the way it was. But this reportedly happened Monday, July 24th. The news breaks today, the next day. But that's the 205th day of the year. LeBron Raymond James, 205. Okay? Obvious. This is Bronny Jr. Cardiac arrest also equals 96, like LeBron, like Lakers. The news breaks today, July 25th, can be written 25/7. Los Angeles Lakers 257. That's the 55th prime. King James equals 55. And for Bronny himself, it happened on the 293rd day of his own age. That's the 62nd prime, and his nickname, Bronny James, is 62. So just another ritual by the numbers. And for the guy who makes Gematria videos, I don't know if you're trying to do sensational headlines all the time, but your headlines are making the work look like shit, because your headline about this is another ritual sacrifice for LeBron, Bronny James. So somebody's going to click on that video and be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He didn't die. He's in stable condition. He's fine. So if your title's another ritual sacrifice, when the story comes out and breaks that he's totally fine, people who are going to think like, oh, this is another one of these Gematria bullshit decoders. And people are looking for a reason to escape. So that's why when you watch my channel, the headlines are always legitimate. And there is something to having sensational headlines. It doesn't make people click on it, but it's not good for the work. So there's no reason for your headline to say another ritual sacrifice when his son's not dead. Okay. Twitter rebrands as X. And, Elon Musk tweeted about this on a Sunday, the most Jesuit day of the week. We know what a little Jesuit pawn puppet he is, another fake nobody, should be nobody that didn't do anything, another chosen Illuminati puppet, like Zuckerberg, like Gates, like Bezos, like all of them. But the official rebranding happened last night on the 24th, which just makes so much sense because X is the 24th letter. And the word bird, if you just do numerology, it's also 24. The bird got replaced with an X on the 24th. I mean, just couldn't be any more elementary. And also Twitter, so he announced the end of Twitter on the 23rd, right? Ends 23, and then Twitter officially totally rebranded on the 74 date numerology, which was yesterday, the same day the chef drowned. And just the latest example of Elon Musk is a puppet on strings, and it's all by the code. And isn't it convenient that this happens right after Facebook and it being released, their new thing, Threads, or it's now Meta? But remember, that was 201 days after the Pope's birthday, and Facebook put out the big tutorial for Threads on 7/5, July 5, and then that was the 201st day of the Pope's age, and then it officially went live the next day, 7/6, 201 days after the Pope's birthday, on the 187th day of the year, like Society of Jesus. But also, shout out to Amy. If I covered this one in the past, I forgot, or if somebody else did, I forgot. But the original alliance between the Catholic Church and the United States of America was the Apostolic Prefecture of the United States, 201. How about that 159, too, like New Testament and the New World for the New World Order? They're right, their bullshit belief system. What do you mean I gotta believe in anything besides Jesus? I only have to believe in Jesus because then I get the eternal afterlife. In fact, I don't have to do anything else in my life besides just believe in Jesus, that he died on the cross for our sins, because then I get the eternal... God, I really hate listening to fucking dumb Christians, man. They are just a fucking plague. They are a plague. God, they are a plague, man. Ugh. God, it's like I said, it's the Special Olympics of spirituality. Yeah, that was God's master plan. Sacrifice his son, have his son murdered for, and you know how his son was murdered? In Rome, it's called Triclavianism, just for the record. Triclavianism. Hold on. I'm missing an I. Oh, hold on. I got all kinds of things wrong here. There it is. Triclavianism. That's Roman capital punishment. By the way, in Jewish gematria, Romans 201. Yeah, I mean, just seriously, Christians, pull your fucking head out of your ass. Stop worrying about cuss words and start worrying about real things. Cuss words are to add emphasis. Your retarded spiritual belief is really fucking annoying. Jesus, the Son of God, who could only appear 2,000 years ago, was sacrificed on the cross so you could be a sinner. And if you just believe in that, you'll get the eternal afterlife. I mean, that doesn't sound like the ultimate load of bullshit. That makes fucking Santa Claus sound like the most legitimate story there ever was, okay? Santa Claus sounds 10 million times more legitimate. What kind of stupid fucking plan is that? They should make a new Bible with God riding on a short bus. Come on. So, anyway. By the way, rants like this, if you're going out to teach the knowledge, aren't too helpful because they're too aggressive and too aggravating. When you're out on the street, like I could see that Evan was channeling something. Evan, notice when I'm not out on the street, I'm not as like demeaning and mean. You have to be this way on a screen to get people to watch. Out on the street, less accusatory and just more presenting the facts and getting people to think and asking questions. Evan was roasting these people for wasting their money at the baseball game, and I was like, they probably don't like that. That's probably not going to resonate. It's probably just going to create resentment. So, again, there are different times and different places that are more appropriate to speak in certain ways. And sure, videos like this will even make people turn it off, but also for other people, it'll make them listen longer. And it might piss them off. I do want to piss people off sometimes because it makes them think. I'm going to prove that fucking Zachary K. Hubbard wrong right fucking now. That Jesus was real. Oh, wait a minute. He's not. What have I been believing in? So... Yeah, I might try out the Jesus rant sometime if I just, Hey, thank you, Amber. Thank you for being a Gematria member for 3 months. Appreciate that. And thank you congrats to the winners. We definitely covered Bronny James. Thank you again to John Mendoza's generosity. He says, stay righteous, truth soldiers. Thank you again to Christopher, who's super generous. Thanks for the knowledge. I'm up over $400 on MLB games. I appreciate you, Zach. Let's get the subscribers back up so we can be in California, New York. Great work, Chris. Thank you to Modoc Roughstock. I don't even know what that means. He gifted one GematriaEffectNews membership. Thank you. I don't understand the terminology. And again, thank you to Amber. But yeah, you guys, I do gotta say, even if we don't hit the milestones that I said need to be hit to go down to California for Kobe Bryant Day, I'm probably still gonna do it anyway because I feel like it needs to be done. And I am super frustrated about the way support's fallen off. It should just be building after what we've done the last, several trips across the nation all over the place. And, yeah, there should be an army of people behind us. But, again, people are fucking morons. There are people who be like, I'm not going to support you because you don't believe in Jesus like I do. Perfect, fucking moron. Perfect. Because Jesus is doing a lot right now, isn't he? Jesus is doing what? Yeah, I had a conversation with Jesus last night. Did ya? Are you sure you're not fucking insane? Are you sure that religion hasn't turned people into a bunch of schizophrenics? You didn't have any fucking conversation with Jesus because nobody's ever talked to Jesus. Did you talk to Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny? All of this shit is on the same level. Okay? And then the Christians get so, what do you mean? So you don't believe in God? No, I don't believe in your fucking Jesus story, you fucking morons. I do think there's a creator. There's obviously a spiritual level. And I don't think it has to do with like cussing and bad language and having sex outside of marriage. I think it's about being an honest person and fighting for the right things in this world. Sadly, we have to fight for things, but we do live in this world full of injustice and evil. I think those are the things Creator would probably care about, if Creator even cares about us. Creator might have just created the world to sit back and enjoy. In your religious Christianity belief, Creator created evil and Satan and all that, so, it seems like he wanted to play a game here. But all I'm saying is I do think there's a spiritual component. I think we get the signs all the time if we're doing right and wrong. You might not get hit by a lightning bolt, but something might come crashing down in your world. You might have a bad thought going through your head that's all wrong, and the next thing you know, you stub your toe in the wall, and you're like, maybe the reason I just stubbed my toe like that is because I had this fucked up thought in my head. That kind of stuff happens to me all the time. And to me, that's a spiritual thing, because I'm like, I don't normally just smash my toe like that into this, but I shouldn't have been thinking that. So, again, there's signs, and yeah, they come through more ways than stubbing your toe on a piece of furniture or a wall, but there are signs in this world, and there are spiritual components, and, if your eyes are open to that, you can absolutely observe them, and, sometimes it's hard to make sense of things, too. Sometimes you do the nicest thing in the world for people or a group of people, and then, shit rains down on you, and you say, why is that? But, again, sometimes I think we're meant to ask questions about this world too. So, anyway, shout out to Evan and Amy and everybody else in the community who's doing the good work and making more people ask questions. And again, Evan, next time you go out, have a note card with more Gematria riddles. I was actually surprised about some of the things that you couldn't think of off the top of your head. I was like, seriously, you don't know that? What? And again, I'll always give positive feedback, but ultimately, A+ job for getting out there. That's the real thing that matters. But yeah, if you're having trouble remembering things off the top, which came out of your mouth at one point, have a note card there so you remember more things. And if people come up to you and ask you things because you got pressed by a group of people and you didn't have answers for them, they're like, how can you script a game? It should be an easy answer. What do you mean, how do you script a game? How do you create a theatrical performance? Have you watched the highlights on some of these games where the guys have like a complete game going through 7 innings and they fan 15 batters, and you're watching the highlights and you're like, what's these half-ass swings? Look like the whole team was told to not swing the bat tonight. A little lazy swing under the ball, little pop-up to the infield. Didn't look like a real MLB cut. That looked like a guy who just, was learning to play baseball. Thought this guy was a Major League Baseball player. There's all sorts of things you can say. So, yeah, and one guy came up to Evan and said, so what, even like the lowest salary in the MLB is $450,000, you think these guys are going to get paid that much and be able to script a game? Evan didn't know what to say back. Evan, that should have been an easy response. You should have said, why are they paid that much? Wouldn't that be a reason to make the guy submit to the script? So going out there and proving that he's the number one baseball player and the best hitter in town, well, now he wants to keep his at least $450,000 salary, or some of these players are making millions of dollars a year. That's a logical response. So again, it'll come with time, but let's before we go out and pound pavement, let's make sure we got enough things to say. Let's make sure we're not just ragging on everybody. Again, I know sometimes in my live streams like this one, I'll rag on groups of people. Christians will be butthurt. How come you don't rag on the other religions? Again, I always answer these questions because I don't have door-to-door salesmen for other bullshit religions coming to my door, or I might. I can't think of in the 10 years I've been doing this, even anybody from any other religious group other than Christianity, talking shit in the comments. Can't think of a single one, but I can think of a million comments from bullshit-filled heads of Christians. Okay, and I can think of 1,000 videos made by moronic Christians saying I'm some kind of shill when these people are fucking idiots. Never been a shill, been the person on YouTube putting out the best content the whole time I've been here, actually getting to the matter of what's going on in this world and proving it every day and helping change people's lives and help people improve their financial position and pull their head out of their ass. But anyway, again, if you're going to go out and pound pavement, make sure you got, the things ready to say. Go through your mind like what people might come up and try to confront you and argue with you and how you're going to respond. Make sure you got these things covered. And next time Evan goes out there, it's going to be even better. And he did a great job, and he spoke with confidence, which is nice. I was impressed. He must have some public speaking skills too. But I just thought, as I was watching, I was like, he should have had some things on some note cards because he's forgotten a lot. So anyway. And again, also, Amy's video right here. Amy, this was an A+ video. Don't forget Captain Tom, though. Captain Tom's one of the best examples there ever was because it's perfectly synced with COVID and Burma's government getting overthrown. And then, again, Burma's government was established on the big Jesuit day, September 27th. So, thank you, DJ. DJ says, treat sweet lady to an ice cream. You know, we got the Tillamook Dairy Company out here on the West Coast. And, sweet lady, she's never eaten ice cream, but she found this like Tillamook chocolate peanut butter ice cream sandwich thing, and now she's addicted to them. But lately the grocery store hasn't had them, so she's just had to keep her little addiction to the side. But yeah, if I see some more, DJ, I'll get her some on you, and I'll let her know that DJ endorsed it. Thank you very much. Okay, True Seeker. And again, shout out to Dana. For this t-shirt. Also, shout out to Barbara. Barbara sent me a nice birthday card, and so did Holly. Of course, shout out to Holly. And if any of you guys tried to send me birthday cards to my P.O. box and they got sent back to you, I'm waiting to see, since I just supposedly fixed it last week, if anything is going to come. Again, if you do send anything to my P.O. box, don't put money in there. Just send a nice message or whatever, or a thought. And because I still haven't gotten any mail to my house from my P.O. box since I set up forwarding at the end of March. And if it's not fixed after this one too, I'm just going to take down the P.O. box information for now. Or I might get a new P.O. box in the town I live in now. But the post office here is completely incompetent, so I don't know if I want to do that. But for example, somebody sent me something to my house for my birthday, and I didn't even get it because they delivered it to my neighbor's house. And I just got it last night because I said, hey, do you happen to have my mail? And they're like, oh, actually, we do. So, anyway, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share, and thank you for all the people who, even if they disagree, they still stick around and listen. And if you do disagree, prove me wrong. Again, for all of you people offended by the statement, what's Jesus doing? Why are you so offended? What is Jesus doing? Keeping everybody, waiting for their Savior instead of going out and actually doing something themselves? Tell you what, if I was one of these brain-dead Christians, I never would have put out this knowledge and totally exposed the cabal and the Illuminati and the Jesuits for what they're doing. I would have just been waiting for Jesus. Would have been a total detriment to my life. All right. Till next time.